fading. We gotta go. I'll get my car.
What, mine?
Yours. I gotta get me one of those.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Batdan's Discussions, the first episode of Batdan's Discussions for 2025. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna get more DC content out. It's just DC has been, DC. What up to the chat, and a special hello to Aaron Fisher. I hope you're doing well. I know you've had some troubles with your accident, and I just glad to see that despite all that, you're still doing content. You're still doing what you love. And I find that very commendable. And again, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I wish you all the best. I'm glad to have you in the chat. What up, Bishop? And please join me as I bring on ZodWriter. How are you, man?
Hey, man. All good. How are you?
I'm great, ready to roast the shit out of something that we're supposed to love.
Yeah, it's incredible to me. I still cannot believe what we're seeing. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And again, and shout out to Aaron Fisher. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said about Aaron. It was so funny because, Batdan and I, for those in the chat, Batdan and I talk a lot offline, and that was one of the big conversations we had when Aaron first had his accident about the idea that, Aaron was doing his updates from his hospital bed. That's dedication, literal, like on a level of, it's just, it really is commendable. It's wonderful to see. And, we need all the Aaron Fishers we can get in this community, especially with all the crazy stuff that is constantly going on with this, this toilet water company that we're dealing with.
Oh, yeah, Zod.
Unbelievable.
Well, before we get into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to Gene Hackman and his family. So, for those of you who don't know, Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog were all found dead in their home. I don't think a cause of death has been determined yet, but it's a heartbreaking situation. It's a heartbreaking situation when something like this happens. There are actors who've died of old age, and it's sad, but when that happens, such as like James Earl Jones, I just celebrate the good life that he lived, or they lived, or she lived, whatever, whomever. But this is just tragic. Like, Zod, do you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, it was a shock to see for sure, and it's very sad. And I just, I just hope wherever Gene Hackman and his wife are now, I hope they're in a better place.
Well said, Zod. Well said. It's a very weird story. I don't know what happened, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to cover any conspiracy theories about that. If or when the actual story comes out, that's something that I'll cover. But I'm not getting involved in any.
Yeah, since there's nothing definitive, but and it's like I had heard something about a possible carbon monoxide accident, which that could explain, that could explain a lot of things, because that carbon monoxide is a silent killer and it will kill you in your sleep. So that's very serious. So I don't know. I like you. I don't want to speculate. I'm sure we're gonna get something eventually. So we'll find out.
Exactly. And until then, all we can do is just wish Gene Hackman and his family all rest in peace, and to their living family members, Gene Hackman, and I'm bad at names and looking up his wife's name right now. Gene.
Oh, Aaron said they debunked that today. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, the
carbon.
Oh shit. Damn. And it's funny, I just had this article up and I lost it. Okay, so Gene Hackman and okay, does anyone know Gene Hackman's wife's name? I want to get her name right. I don't want to make her just call her Gene Hackman's wife. I'm sorry, I had this article up and then I accidentally clicked out of it before the show started. Oh, just type this in. Gene Hackman and okay, and his wife Betsy. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put this in the chat because I'm not going to try to butcher her name. But yeah, to Gene Hackman and Betsy,
Arakawa. It looks like Arakawa. Betsy Arakawa.
Anyways, I wish their loved ones, all the best, and offer my condolences. So,
yeah,
rest in peace. And now, at least on to some happier news. There's a movie coming out that's exciting. July 11th, 2025. I'm really excited for this movie. One Punch Dan, ZodWriter. Any news about One Punch Dan you want to share?
Well, I am still pushing for a July 11th release, but the production is going a lot slower than I anticipated. A lot of work, a lot of technical hiccups and things that I didn't anticipate initially, because things were going so smoothly early on. So it's taking me a lot longer than I hoped, but I'm still shooting for that July 11th release date, and I'm super excited for everybody to see the movie once it's done, because again, this is a huge project for me. It's taken up a lot of my life, and I'm really excited for everybody to see it. I do have. Let me see here. I might have something I can show here if I can find it here. Let me, One Punch Dan is such an amazing project. I still can't believe that this movie's coming along the way it is. It really is starting to look amazing. But I will show a little scene here from One Punch Dan. Here we go.
What can I do for you, Mikey? Release my son now.
Man, I still tear up when I see the clips of Mikey.
I tried to depict Mikey as cool as humanly possible, and to make him just a complete badass in this movie, and I think I've succeeded. Mikey is fearless and awesome, and he has a lot of great I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Mikey is quite effective in the One Punch Man movie. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be Jamar. It will be on my YouTube channel the day that it's finished, whatever day that is. Like I said, I'm shooting for July 11th, but again, I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this movie, and things are taking me longer than I anticipated. So I'm not really going around saying the July 11th date anymore, just because I don't want to, promise the date and then not have the movie done on that day. But I'm pushing, I'm trying very, very hard. I was actually working on some stuff and rendering some stuff before the movie. Before the stream today, there were some things I was working on, and for it, and it was just, and it's mind blowing to me. I'm working on this sequence where One Punch Dan is fighting off a horde of evil cyborgs, and it just looks phenomenal. It looks very, very cinematic, and I just cannot believe what, technologically, I'm able to do. When I started this project, the whole idea was to show that you could make a multi-million-dollar movie, with the right tools and using AI as a tool to make it all happen as well. And it's exceeding my expectations. So I have no doubt that it's going to be a better movie than James Gunn's Superman movie. I have no doubt it's going to be a better movie than the Fantastic Four, and I have no doubt that it's going to be a better movie than Jurassic World. So eat your heart out, Trey and Corey of the Bat Channel. Thanks for not putting One Punch Dan on your top 5 list this year. I appreciate that, guys, because I think you guys are going to be surprised when you see One Punch Dan. It's really amazing. So I'm so excited for y'all to see what I've been cooking up, and I'm just I'll be so happy when it's done, because it'll probably stop me from aging once I release the movie. So
Anyways, when you finish the thing, unlike James Gunn, you're not going to rush a product to make it on time.
No, I'm not, because I'm the only one. I'm the sole person working on it. And it was funny because I was having this conversation with my parents about the movie, and I was telling my dad, I was like, I don't, I'm not trying to rush. I said, but I want to get this out by, July 11th. And it was like my father's telling me, he's like, listen, he's like, you're making this movie yourself. You're putting in all the work. You're putting in all the time. You're not, beholden to any studio or producers or anything like that. So just take your time and get the movie done on your pace and when you're happy with it. And it's true. I don't have control over like the time it takes to render and all the kinds of crazy things I'm doing. All I know is that it's blowing my mind, and I just want to make sure that it's a top quality product, and I think people are going to love it. I get excited every time I see you on screen, Bat Dan. I get goosebumps, because I'm like, you really, really, worked out and got a great physique for the movie. You look very heroic. Everybody does. You guys all look great in the movie. Everybody looks beautiful in this movie. There's nobody in this movie that doesn't look cool. I mean, that little scene that I just showed with Mikey. Mikey just looks completely badass in this film, and everybody is just it's wonderful. It's wonderful stuff. I feel very blessed to be able to be making a movie where I can include all my friends and some family members and just make everybody badasses. Like, you know, our friend Sin Havoc is so fond of saying, an original IP.
I cannot wait, Zod. I cannot wait for this movie to premiere. I'm excited for it, and I think it will do great. And I'm going to say right now, I am not going to rate this movie when it comes out because I think there's a conflict of interest for me. I'm the lead of this movie, so of course I'm going to want to give it 10 out of 10. So I'm going to just talk about the movie, but you won't see me rate it for that reason.
Well, that's my thought process too. And I was telling you know Bishop about this a while ago, where like the idea would be to have all of you guys come in and kind of do your own like commentary track where you talk about your experience with the movie and your characters and stuff, because you guys put in a lot of work. You guys are class A actors. I got to tell you, I can't believe some of the dialogue. I mean, it's incredible. You guys are delivering. Sometimes with One Punch Dan, it's like I go for a line and I'm going for a line of dialogue, and you get it in one take, and then I get excited. I'm like, holy cow! I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it more. I don't have to do any more. He's all good. It's exciting. It's exciting stuff. I'm just we're living in exciting times, being able to do this. And I just feel like we need something as a community to get excited about, to rally behind. And I want the community to be included. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to so many people about One Punch Dan, when I first had the idea and the vision to do the film. So I think you guys are gonna love it. I was literally, when I was looking at some of the sequences that were coming out before the stream, I literally started shaking because I didn't expect it to come out as good as it did. There's a scene, and you guys might be getting a trailer, a new trailer in March. So I'm because I'm getting some really, really good footage. So you guys might be getting something new really soon. So
I cannot wait, Zod. I cannot wait. So pending July 11th, 2025, pending that date. But if it's not coming out that date, it's because we'll be getting a better product. So I cannot wait.
Right. If it doesn't come out on July 11th, it's going to be because I just want to make sure that it's perfect. And because I already have an idea for two separate cuts of the movie. The first cut I'm going to release in a director's cut. I do have an idea for slight differences that'll be in the director's cut that won't be in the released cut, although I might not have to do that because things are coming out better than I expected. So that's the One Punch Dan update. That's the progress report. It's coming out better than expected. So it's not coming out faster than expected, or as expected, but the movie is coming out better than expected overall with the way that it looks. So I'm excited.
I am too. But now, let's get to it. First and foremost, before we get into the DCU, the Wonder Woman game that was supposed to be coming out, that was in development hell for the longest time, is now officially canceled.
Why is that not a surprise to me?
Because DC is run by incompetent people right now? What was their excuse? Let's get their exact quote here. So here is what they say. We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments building the best games possible with our key franchises. Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of the teams. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists of them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character. Unfortunately, this is no longer possible with our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's second storied history delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios, by getting our game business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. Okay, interesting. So they basically, lots of people lost their jobs, and Wonder Woman was a casualty of that.
That sounds about right.
That's just awful. It's like, this was something exciting for DC because, look, I love Batman. Okay, I'm Batman for crying out loud. But there's other characters in DC besides Batman, and I understand Superman's a little bit harder of a game to develop because he's invulnerable. So how do you do some of that stuff? But Wonder Woman, they could have made a great Wonder Woman game. That would have been a great game, and again, it would have been some. I don't like to pull this card too much, but it would have been some good female representation. A chance to have a badass female as the lead playable character, which that would have been kind of cool because we don't. And we lost that. We lost that. Yeah, that's a good point, DC all the way. I mean, Wonder Woman's last video game appearance will be that shitty Suicide Squad game. Not that I played it, but I've heard it wasn't great, so. That's awful. I guess WB is hiding. Yeah, that he is. That they are. Because do you notice how I think Aaron Fisher was pointing this out, how the Trinities, Azoff taunted the Trinity when he first got on, and now it's like, not only this Wonder Woman game is canceled, but there's no movie coming out. There's no Wonder Woman movie coming out. There's a prequel series, but not Wonder Woman herself. There's a Wonder Woman spin-off series in production, but not an actual Wonder Woman project in production right now at the DCU.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. There's no other word to describe it other than disgusting. I mean, because it doesn't. I mean, they have no regard for anything, and this is how we know the game was going to be good. Okay, we know the game was going to be good because again, it was reminiscent of Snyder's Wonder Woman, so we know it was going to be good, and because of that, you know. Anytime they have anything good, they have to piss all over it and pull the plug on it. So, yeah.
It's just sad. And yeah, thanks for reminding me, Aaron. The series was pushed back, and we'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that and other stuff that's being pushed back. But overall, it's not just the main DCU. It's just this other stuff, this Elseworld stuff that's getting pushed back. And it's just sad because that's bad. And now Cornsweat Superman. So also I just want to say a quick shout out to Kevin. Thank you for stopping by. I think this may be your first time on the channel, so welcome. Anyways, let's get to Media assets. Here we are. So, sorry guys, I'm not always technical with StreamYard. So, I know this image came out for a while, and I haven't talked about this, but so Zod, you know what an excuse I heard was? I heard that people did not expect them to focus on a particular shot so much. That's the excuse they want to get.
It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Did people just not expect us to pause at all during this? Like, you're supposed to have good images because you got to show something, right? I mean, this wasn't something I had to go out of my way to find. This was literally right there. Like, this was being used in all the main marketing stuff.
Okay, we know. Okay, here's the thing. We know James Gunn is not Zack Snyder. My God, do we know? But here's the thing. You can pause any shot in any Zack Snyder movie, and every single shot is literally frame, picture perfect, poster worthy art. Okay? Why does this look like an independent movie? Why does that shot look like AI? Okay? I'm just saying. Okay, we James Gunn clearly is skimping on this budget when it comes to the movie, because this just looks cheap. A shot like that is not acceptable. But here's the thing. We should be used to that by now when it comes to Warner Brothers, because of what we saw with Justice League, right? Henry Cavill's face was messed up in that entire movie. And I'm going to say this right now. Even Henry Cavill with a messed up, horrible looking AI CGI face looked better than that one shot of Cornsweat that you just showed. That's how bad it is. I would rather watch Justice League with Henry Cavill's messed up face than watch this movie with David Cornsweat looking like that. We really are getting a downgraded Superman. We really are. This is not. It's not even close. It is a toilet bowl downgrade. 100%.
Exactly. And yeah, I would not be surprised, Dennis. I would not be surprised at all, especially if this movie doesn't go well. Kaput. But anyways, Zod, before we move on from this particular topic, Gunny Poo released a new image today. Look at this awesome image. Does this not hype you up for the new Superman movie? I mean, look at that.
So he's it's I have a shot from One Punch Dan that is listen, I'm looking at that shot and I'm thinking, oh my God, that is so terrible. That is so poorly done. Show that again, Dan, please. I just want to look
the boots image.
Yeah, I want to look at it one more time.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's like a shot of action figure feet. It looks like a piece of plastic, doesn't it? An action figure.
Exactly. But also, even if this was the best shot in the world, Zod, why feet? Why feet?
Maybe James Gunn has a foot fetish. Have you ever thought of that?
Wouldn't surprise me. And what up, Rebel Moon Theory? For those of you who don't know, Rebel Moon Theory has a live stream tomorrow debunking a narrative, I assume, that a certain fake Netflix account set up. So I'm excited for that. So check out Rebel Moon Theory tomorrow.
It's always exciting. More fake narratives. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, exactly, Aaron. Exactly. The fact that how memeable all this stuff is, and let me get this ugly image.
It's like they're doing. It's like Aaron. It's like they're doing this on purpose. Like they're tanking tanking this movie on purpose. Like they have money, like they're literally betting against it, and they're set to make. I feel like Zaslav and James Gunn are set to make billions off of this movie failing.
What up, the good Austin, producer of the channel? Yeah, that is right. He does. That would not surprise me.
Mm.
Absolutely. Replay crew is always appreciated. But
awesome.
But here's the thing. This movie is this is the real first impression of the DCU. I mean, I know there's Creature Commandos, but let's be honest, like 2 people watch that series. I'm like, this is like going to be the first thing in theaters that people see. And it's all riding on this. This needs to be the best thing ever. And it's not. And I didn't pull up all these other images because I just don't feel like pulling up.
I love, shout out to Good Austin. I love how Good Austin mirrored my thoughts on the James Gunn foot fetish thing, because honestly, dude, this guy, he's just like, he just wants everybody to know about his sexual kinks. Like, think about it. He did it with Creature Commandos. The only thing he cared about was releasing a video about, of them, of his actors performing their sex scene. That was the only thing that was important to him. He gets turned on by Superman's feet. This guy is just all about, projecting his sexual kinks onto the audience. It's really fascinating and disgusting at the same time.
Right now. Okay. Sorry. Oh yeah, don't forget, definitely that one, that awful image. And then I don't have the Guy Gardner images up there because I don't feel like pulling those up, but
oh god, those are so cringe too, right? Those are just god awful. Yeah, for real, Bishop. The obsession with the underwear. Yeah, the obsession with the underoos, right? The underwear on the outside. the red depends, right? We need that in our lives. I bet you they're going to release a special Superman James Gunn approved underoos when this movie comes out. They're bringing underoos back, Josh. They're bringing it back.
Come on, Josh, you and me, you're on July 11th or a later date, you're going down. Josh.
Just Josh. I really, Just Josh is another one, and Bishop and you, of course. So many of you have so many great moments in this movie. I'm so excited. Gonna have a sponsorship with Dude Wipes. Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, like, depends. It depend. the adult diapers for sure.
Oh yeah, right. Thanks for reminding me, Jay. Superman does have a poop fetish. This was said on Peacemaker. I forgot about that. Right.
So there you have it. That's what I'm saying. Every single sexual kink that James Gunn has, he's projecting onto his audience through the lens of DC characters. It's disgusting.
It's just crazy. It really is. And oh yeah, absolutely, Future Tron. Right after this stream, we'll definitely be tuning. At least I'll be tuning in. I know, Zod, you have work to do on One Punch Man, but I'll definitely be tuning in to this stream because I think it's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, I'll be going back to. It's funny that you should mention that, Josh, because I was just rendering a scene, a part of that grocery store sequence before the stream tonight, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to work as soon as the stream is over, so I'll have to catch Sky's stream on the replay. But yeah, definitely. Wow. Just Josh is also psychic on top of being a badass superhero.
He's not that badass, Zod. No, he's not. I mean, he's not anywhere near the level of One Punch Man.
There he is. I know. I'm that guy. He's that guy, all right. Wow.
And for those of you who don't know, Just Josh and One Punch Man, I don't know how much in the movie, but in real life, they have a bit of a rivalry. Well, actually, no, because I know Just Josh does say he's better than One Punch Man in the trailer, which is just not true. But anyways, after this movie, Zod, after this movie, there was a slate. You remember how we got revealed that there was going to be a big announcement for the new slate?
Yeah.
And you know what ended up being? You know what the big update was? We're getting less projects than expected. I think like Clayface is the only new movie, and like everything else is delayed or because they don't have
delayed. Yeah.
Like the Wonder Woman project, or let's see. Let me pull this one out. So basically, let me just share this right now. Now, granted, this is actually a bit of a misquote. So, no, Robert Pattinson is not the DCU's Batman. That's actually not quite what was said. What Gunny Poo said, actually, for one, is that that's not the plan right now. That's what he was actually saying. But you know what happens to plans a lot? They change.
I know.
Like, there was like all this excitement, all this teasing that we were going to get some new big announcement. I mean, now granted, I wasn't really expecting anything. I expected this, but just the principle of the matter. The principle of the matter. They like this big nothing burger is what we got. And we should be excited for this. We should be excited. We should like have a slate announcement. We should be like jumping for joy talking about it. But there's nothing exciting. My biggest issue is that aside from Superman and Batman, this slate is all like D-list characters.
Yeah. And there's no hype for any of it, and that's the reality. But you know what's even more revealing about it is the fact that they know that there's no hype for it. I mean, they know the truth. The truth is speaking for itself. I mean, they were literally talking about YouTube views for that trailer. I mean, give me a break. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible.
And don't forget Creature Commandos, they counted minutes. But so, and even with the Batman movie, they actually, I mean, right here is that Gunn is actually developing Brave and the Bold with the writer he didn't want to reveal. And what's interesting is he will get the script, but actually Andy Muschietti is not even necessarily going to direct this. Like, he'll get like the first crack at it. He'll get the first look at it, but we got Gunn working on the script, and Andy Muschietti not even necessarily going to direct it.
He'll get Taika Waititi to come in and direct it.
Oh. Yeah, no, exactly, Dennis. We're actually going to transition to that very soon, but that's exactly it. That's just, first of all, Batman is my favorite DC character, my favorite character ever. He's a serious character. Gunn style. He is not a serious writer. He should not be working on a Batman film. They didn't necessarily officially confirm that. They just weren't sure about it, from my understanding.
Well, I mean, if Penguin does get a second season, it probably won't be until like 2029. So, with the rate that they're doing stuff.
Oh, I actually think that we are going to get a Penguin season 2, and I think we are going to get the Batman 2, because I think what's going to happen is that Superman's going to fail, and they'll need to do some stuff to get DC hyped up quickly. They know Penguin did well, so they're going to jump to that. That's what I think is going to happen.
And not only Aaron is he working on a World's Finest script, but I've been saying this for a long time They are sowing the seeds for Marvel versus DC. That's what they want to do. That's the game plan. It's been the game plan for a long time, since going as far back as like 2011. I'm willing to. I would almost be willing to bet buddy on it that we'll get World's Finest, and then we'll get Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's my biggest issue with the crossover right now. For a good crossover, both IPs need to be strong for it to be hyped up. What good is a crossover if one IP is dead in the water and the other IP is roller coaster quality right now? Good stuff and then some bad stuff. Some good stuff and then some bad stuff.
Well, I always said that they would have to wait until both companies were kind of in this position, and DC just keeps going lower and lower and lower, and Marvel, while not completely in the toilet, is on very, very thin ice. So now they're kind of at that point where within the next 5 or so years, they can do a crossover, and it'll be good for both companies. But unfortunately, the joke is kind of on them, because all James Gunn is doing is making a goofy Marvel version of DC. So that's going to allow them to facilitate Marvel versus DC. And if the rumors are true about Feige being on his way out at Marvel, that could be the end game. They could want to do some kind of crossover event as the last hurrah. Because doesn't Gunn only have like a 10-year contract or something?
No, not even. You're thinking 10-year plan. His contract was 4 years. It's supposed to expire 2026. So
it'll probably be like one of the last things that Gunn, that they green light, that would be like Marvel versus DC. But the thing about it is, we already know that Superman is going to flop so hard and just so epically. It's going to fail so colossally, right? That nothing that James Gunn green lights is gonna happen after Superman falls on its face. So yeah.
What up, Mama Bear?
We got Mama Bear. Yes, Mama Bear. Always.
And DC Talk, I have to correct you on something. Man of Steel and BVS were successful on Netflix. Sell is the way. I'm a big grammar person at times. But yeah, we'll definitely, I'm glad you said that, because we'll definitely talk about that at the end. But before we move on, I just want to kind of go over the rest of this slate update real quick. We won't spend a lot of time talking about everything. So Supergirl, halfway through production. We will talk about this soon. Oh yeah, James Watkins doing a Clayface movie. They don't have the Batman DCU set up yet, but we're getting Clayface at least. So, isn't that exciting? I don't even know who this character is. Why is he getting Why is he getting a movie in the first phase?
He was in Creature Commandos, wasn't he? I thought he was in Creature Commandos.
I don't know. I didn't.
But he's not. But it's not going to be Daniel Craig. I thought Daniel Craig already dropped out.
Yeah, he did. It's not Daniel Craig anymore, because he had a better role coming up in DC before Gunny Poo took over. Brainiac with Henry Cavill's Superman. That would have been something.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd want to go from Brainiac to Sergeant Rock. That's another downgrade if I ever heard of one.
Absolutely. And then, yep. So this is basically not happening. This is basically not happening right now. The Authority. Not that anyone really cares about that. Oh, Supergirl writer has royal script for Teen Titans. And then Bane and Deathstroke. There's a script, but wouldn't say it's for. Oh, okay. Don't give a shit about this. I still don't get how you can have season 1 not be canon to season 2. That makes no sense. Forward with someone else.
Well, I think it was Aaron who explained how they were gonna do it. with the season 2 thing.
Did
How they would
they actually-
how they would make it make sense. Didn't he have, Aaron, if you're still in the chat, didn't you have an idea of how you thought how they're gonna do that, how they're gonna make it work? Maybe they'll use Batmite.
I've had a theory about how that would possibly work if James Gunn had any ounce of cleverness. If they talk about it, it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna talk about whatever events that they mention from the previous season are canon, and then whatever doesn't get mentioned, it's like a really stupid way of doing it, like everything else.
That's actually worse, honestly. I find half continuity worse than no continuity. But
yeah, that's gonna be great for your OCD, Batman.
My theory is, for those of you who watch, I actually had a Rick and Morty theory about how Gunny Poo might pull this off. So, for those of you who watch Rick and Morty, there will be spoilers for season 1, but basically there was an episode where Rick and Morty destroyed the whole world with Cronenbergs, some subspecies of humans, mutated, whatever. And basically what happened is instead of fixing it, they went to another reality where that Rick and Morty died and took their place. What I'm suspecting is that Gunny Poo will have, the first episode will take place in the DCEU. Gunny Poo and Vigilante will do something stupid with the butterflies, destroy the DCEU, and then they will go to some other reality where the Peacemaker and Vigilante die in that universe, and what they'll find is most of their stuff's the same, but everything around that is different. That's basically, I would see Gunny Poo doing something like that, but honestly, that sounds more clever than that, so the one he's doing. And then Bumpy Road, writes script. Aaron Fisher called this out. Still in development. And should be greenlit soon. Follows what happened. Wait, I thought that Blue Beetle, the movie itself, was not canon, but he was the first character in the DCU. They were going to reuse that character. And then and a kid show. I don't give a shit. So
lots of things to be excited about, Dan. I mean, wow.
Basically, even if you were excited for the slate, it's oh yeah. I mean, I would almost say, based on some stuff I'm hearing, too old maybe for Gunny Poo even.
Oh boy.
But that's the most I'll say about that, because certain things I try not to touch too much. But anyway.
Yeah, bad touch. That's all I'll say.
But even if you were excited for the DCU when it first got announced, I'll get that out. Yeah, we're full of jokes on here. That's okay though. That's what part makes this fun. That's what makes the live streams fun. But even if you were excited for the slate, the fact that most of the stuff is not happening, the reality is, I think Warner Brothers Discovery is pulling the plug on some of this stuff because they want to see how Superman does first before they let all this other shit get filmed.
But it shows that they have no confidence in James Gunn, if you think about it. Because if they were all in on James Gunn, this stuff would be flowing out. But they're not all in on James Gunn. They literally are terrified of what James Gunn is doing. They know that Superman is dog crap, and they know that the damage he's going to do to the DC brand is possibly going to be irredeemable. So I don't know what they're hoping for. At this point, there's still time. They could still pull the plug on Gunn's entire slate, pull the plug on Superman, use it as a tax write-off, and go directly to the Snyderverse. They could do that. If they were really smart. That's what they would do. But unfortunately, they're hopeless. They're hopeless. That's what it should be on the poster. It should be the Superman poster, and then in white where it says home, they should replace home with hopeless. Hopeless. That should be the tagline for Superman.
Basically, you'd have to put the S or the Kryptonian symbol for hope, and then you put like that don't symbol over it. That should be the
yeah. That'd be great. That would be awesome, because that's exactly what it is. And it's like Aaron said. There's nothing hopeful about anything that they've released for this Superman movie. I don't get hopeful, cheery vibes when I watch that trailer. When I watch that trailer, I say, "Oh, look, it's a bad AI Superman trailer with bad acting, no money, and just crap costumes from Party City. This is awesome, right? Let's get excited."
Looks like CW with better.
Yeah,
better
it looks
concept.
it looks like a parody. I've seen fan films that fans shoot in their backyard that look better than this.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you said this, because I'm going to show an image. This will segue us perfectly to our next topic. I mean, I gotta admit, this doesn't look like too bad of a series. You got two friends walking. I'm excited. I mean, as long as they're not like Green Lanterns or something. As long as this is like something for like some Earth cop show, I think this could be a really cool image. I think this could be a really cool series. Great, looks like good actors. I mean, on Earth, but it's for Green Lantern. This is their first image for a Green Lantern show. This right here.
Okay. Okay. Not only is that one of the most boring images I've ever seen, but that doesn't instill anything. It's just two guys. That's all it is. It's just two guys. Literally, you make a logo, two guys, Wrangler jeans. What are we supposed to take from that? That to me does not say Green Lantern at all. Nothing about it.
Do you want to know what does say Green Lantern? This.
Yeah.
This is Green Lantern.
Yep. Whether
And
he's on Earth or in space, it wouldn't matter. This is good enough.
At least he's actually using his suit. At least he's using his ring. Like, he doesn't look like a normal guy. And Zack Snyder shot this in his driveway. This was in Zack Snyder's driveway.
Yeah, that shot that you just showed, the shot of the two guys, that's like from an a Ford F-150 commercial. Don't get left in the desert. We got to pick these two guys up. Yeah. Pick them up in a Ford F-150. Oh my God.
Why do they even need to be picked up? They have rings that can like fly them. Like, did they
run out? From that image, you don't get any of that. Like, that's the most, like I said, that's the most boring image I've ever seen. Like, that doesn't evoke anything. It's just two dudes. Like, what are we looking at? Poonhounds. They're getting ready to go to Hooters, Mama Bear.
Didn't you hear though that they declared bankruptcy? Hooters.
Yeah, they're going there before Hooters closes. They got to get to the last Hooters.
Only on Bat Dan's Thoughts. Only on the channel Bat Dan's Thoughts. But
that would be a great title for that image, The Last Hooters. And all you need to do is Photoshop like a Hooters establishment in the background of the shot, and you just see the two of them walking, you know. There you go. That'd be a little more interesting. Green Lantern backwood.
I mean, you got the only image of any Green Lantern in Gunny Poo's DCU that shows that where he's actually using his ring is Guy
A
Gardner.
deodorant ad. A deodorant ad all the way. Yes, sir. Gillette. The best a man can get. Oh, my God.
I assume you mean Hooters.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, it's a collaboration between WBD and Hooters. So it's a bankruptcy collaboration.
So, like, how would that, like, you know, is like Hooters gonna like get an exclusive showing of Superman? The first
Yeah,
look, and then,
all the Hooters girls are going to be superheroes in James Gunn's DCU. They're all going to be scantily clad and overly sexualized.
where our Lex Luthor stars in right here in this movie, Zombie.
Well, you remember the rumor. You remember the rumors before when we didn't know who Lex Luthor was going to be, and there were all these reports that Lex Luthor was going to be played by an adult film star.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. On
long way home. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a long way home. Those two guys. Show that shot one more time, Batman. The long way home. That. Oh God, yeah. Nothing about that shot says anything about Green Lantern. I'm sorry.
I mean, like as I said before, if this were like an image for some other production, like if this were an image from some regular cop show, I don't think it looks bad. If this were some regular Earth, non-Green Lantern, non-DC cop show, cop movie, whatever, I think this would look pretty cool. But not for Green Lantern. Not for a DC Green Lantern. This looks like I don't know what. So
a Hooters food truck. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
What up, Osa Fresh? But anyways, though, this just looks awful. But you know, Zod, we shouldn't be hating on James Gunn so much because didn't you hear the new rumor? We got a new image of them. They're friends now. Look at that.
Well, that's just an updated version of the shot that we got from all those years ago. They had to take a new shot, And notice how it's James Gunn who's got his hands all over Zack because James Gunn wants to show that's my pal, that's my buddy.
Yeah. Well, let's see what James Gunn said about this. Let's see. So, okay, so we knew that people have this view that somehow we have been pitted against each other, Gunn said. It's odd to have someone who you're friendly with in real life be the guy that is positioned as your Lex Luthor, or I'm his Lex Luthor. It's just such a weird dynamic that's been created between factions online. Gee, why would we think that? Could it have anything to do with that you destroyed his universe? You stopped Zack Snyder's universe from happening without giving it a proper conclusion. Not putting it on the Elseworld slate. You fired Zack's Superman. Why would we think there's anything going on between you two?
Right. Notice how James Gunn takes no responsibility in his role in creating all this mess. He takes no responsibility for his loser fan base that keeps attacking people and creating problems. He takes no responsibility for any of that and then wants to ask the question, well, how did this happen? When you see stuff like that, you got to say to yourself, okay, James Gunn, you can live in a different reality than everybody else. Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, DC's right here. Yeah, we didn't see Zack post the picture on his Vero. You know, Zack took the picture with James Gunn like he would take a picture with a fan. It was just another fan picture for Zack. Zack is like, oh, James Gunn is just another fan, right? He's just another fan of Zack's.
You want to know what actually happened in that photo? I'm going to show what really happened in that photo.
Oh, God. Oh, that hurt. Oh. That's a one. And notice how James Gunn isn't wearing any pants.
Oh, yeah. Just like leggings.
Yeah, of course James Gunn would be the guy that's, wearing nothing, no pants.
Exactly, Austin. It's the fans. It is the fans because Gunn has gone after the fans. That is the problem. And thank you for pointing this out. Yeah, Zack Snyder has said jack shit about the picture.
Yeah, because the picture doesn't mean anything to him. It's like it's just like I said, another fan picture.
But yeah, exactly. It's the fans because the fans destroyed a universe that we were going to get. We were about to get this before Gunny Poo stepped in.
Yep.
After it was announced that Henry Cavill announced he was back as Superman. This announcement happened, and right or wrong, fair or unfair, Gunn had a responsibility to pay this announcement off because it was made. And the fact is, he's doing Elseworlds, or they're supposedly doing Elseworlds. They keep going back and forth on that, but officially as it stands, they are doing Elseworlds. So why couldn't they just let Zack do Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 back to back?
Because they're not really doing Elseworlds. They're not really doing anything because James Gunn knows as well as the rest of us that his Superman's going to flop so hard that James Gunn is not going to be allowed 10 feet near the WB lot. He's going to be escorted off the lot when Superman fails, and his entire slate is going to get flushed down the Creature Commando's toilet bowl.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, look, Sin Havoc.
There he is. Yeah.
So, Sin Havoc, do you have any idea when Zack Snyder actually took this picture with Gunny Poo? Because, wasn't Zack Snyder skiing the next day? Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding us, Josh. Zack Snyder's birthday's tomorrow, March 1st.
Yep.
Oh. But yeah, guys, the planets are actually aligning.
Says my Mrs. Butterworth. I'm working on a new AI, a short AI film with Mads Mama Bear voicing a very sexy Mrs. Butterworth. So be on the lookout for that. Speaking about pancakes and flopping and IHOP. Love you too, Mads Mama Bear. It's exciting.
See, JMR, the reason why it worked for the MCU and doesn't work for DC is the Marvel didn't really have these other universe in terms of what Marvel itself had the rights to. So I'm not counting Spider-Man or Fantastic Four, X-Men because they didn't have the rights when the MCU started. But there were not really other productions going on. Iron Man did not have previous movies. Thor did not have previous movies. Captain America only had one shitty movie. That's why the one continuity worked for them. There weren't any major cliffhangers needing to be resolved. And might I say a quick welcome to the Belle Reeve. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the channel.
What's up, Belle? Much love to you.
Just make Let me just do something real quick. Okay, so, but at the end of the day, this is just some stupid PR stunt because Gunny Poo, here's my biggest issue with Gunny Poo. This guy over-inserts himself into everything. In all the marketing, he's like in everything. Like, look at this. This is some comic cover. Fuck.
I want to. All I want to know is when does the McFarlane Toys James Gunn action figure come out? That's what I want to know.
Zod, didn't you hear? McFarlane lost the rights. Starting 2026, Mattel will be the exclusive toy provider for both DC and Marvel.
Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
Wow, how the hell did McFarlane lose the rights?
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Maybe McFarlane charged more because Warner Brothers doesn't have money.
It could be.
Yep, Sin Havoc, exactly.
Oh boy.
And it's not just this comic. It's this comic cover. It's also the Shaquille O'Neal ad James Gunn put himself in. The Creature Commandos that James Gunn didn't know about. He put himself in. He puts himself in everything. Like, Zack Snyder did not put himself in all this marketing the way James Gunn did.
Oh, and James Gunn probably has a huge cameo in Superman.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's probably got a bigger role in Superman than you have in One Punch Man.
That wouldn't surprise me, honestly. But it's just, I've never seen a guy so full of himself, like as much as I had James Gunn. This guy is so obnoxious, so like full of himself, thinks he's all that. It's like, he did Guardians. He had the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, which, let's be honest, if that was not under Kevin Feige, that would not be the success that it was.
Well, I agree. I agree, Mama Bear. I think it's almost a guarantee. And they're making it so obvious because Shaq is shilling so hard. They're making it obvious. Like we can almost expect it to happen. And they're gonna pretend like it was a secret, but it's not really a secret.
Well, I mean, let's see if that actually happens. Superman has to do well. Oh, you know what, Zod, you know what I think is gonna happen? I think, now that I think about it, I think Shaquille O'Neal will have a cameo in Superman.
That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I think he'll be Steel in this movie. Yeah. Because there's like 13,000 characters in this movie. So yeah.
Well, I guess as Cornison Havoc, Mr. Mixilitz Pitalik, Mixia Spitlick, however every media changes how you pronounce his name. So we'll go with Superman the Animated
Mixis Pitalik.
My favorite Mixilitz Pitalik, Gilbert Godfrey, Iago, in Superman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah.
And also Howie Mandel in Lois and Clark. I think that was Howie Mandel, right?
I think so.
Let me just look that up. Yep. Howie Mandel as Mr. Mixius Pitalik. And also, don't forget Nicole Perlman, too. Yeah, thank you. Nicole Perlman.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't... Why does Gunn think he's this household brand? That's my issue. He's not some big household name. Like,
sure is.
I don't... Honestly, though, the reason why that probably won't happen is Gunn's not clever enough to do something like that. But I don't know. It's just amazing to me how this... I mean, I should be surprised that he's so full of himself. Like, but here's the thing. You notice how the Superman trailer they don't advertise this DC movie from the directors of the Guardians trilogy, but they didn't say anything about the one DC movie he did, The Suicide Squad, which failed at the box office. DC all the way. Yep. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Gunn wishes he was Snyder.
And you could tell with the way he's got his arms around Zack, almost like he's clutching on to what he wishes, who he wishes he could be. Like he's trying to hold on to, like Zack is like the guy that James Gunn aspires to. It's like we all have this, we all strive to be the best version of ourselves. That's what James Gunn is doing when he puts his arm around Zack. Are you Zack Snyder?
Oh my God. Sorry, I got distracted by Sin Havoc's comment.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
my.
Sin Havoc is putting it out there, and I'm telling you right now, I would actually expect that. I would expect that.
But anyways, it just shows the biggest problem. I think one of the biggest problems is that Gunny Poo is so full of himself. But not just that, Zod. Not just that. He has his brother out there arguing with people.
Oh, I know. I've had my arguments with Sean. I actually followed Sean on X because him and I were arguing so much. I mean, this guy, he will go at you. And, unfortunately, I don't have the free time that Sean Gunn does. So I can't sit on X and argue back and forth with him like I used to. But those were the days. I'm glad to see you and Frank C, carrying the torch and continuing to argue with Sean, because I just don't have time to do it anymore. So thank you, Frank C and Bat Dan, for your service, for what you're doing. You're doing the community a great service arguing with this man, because he's just...
Zod, I want to go over this.
Dreadful.
I want to go over
Dreadful.
this comment. You are Luther. You fired Henry Cavill, the Superman of this generation, after it was announced that he was back. Nobody gives a fuck about your alleged friendship with Zack. It's your action since becoming the DC call-head that's angered the fandom. You are completely clueless. Do you know what's missing on here? Do you see James Gunn's name directly mentioned on here?
No.
Do you see James Gunn? Do you
but
see
the quote and the picture from Variety is tagged, right? Isn't that what this is?
Yeah, but but my question is, how would Sean Gunn get an instant notification about that? Because a lot of people are talking. There are enough people talking about this.
Let me tell you why. Because Sean Gunn is specifically on X looking for dissenting opinions about his brother's DCU, and his job is to fight with the fans. That's what Sean Gunn's purpose is. That's what he's doing. Remember, Sean Gunn doesn't have anything going on. He's got nothing but free time. Okay? So this is what he does.
And for those of you who don't know, yes, this is the real Sean Gunn, guys. This is not some fake burner account. ZodWriter has it on good authority that this is actually Sean Gunn himself.
I definitely have it on good authority for sure. Okay, I will just say it was confirmed to me that this is the actual Sean Gunn, and that's what Sean Gunn is doing. He is defending his brother at all costs. He is, because let's be honest. If what can Sean do? Sean has to do something to defend his brother, because his brother is the one responsible for him getting all these jobs, getting employment. James Gunn is keeping his brother, from sleeping under a bridge. James Gunn is the reason why Sean Gunn is able to make a living. So he has to do something for his brother. And what does he do? He gets on Twitter and he defends him and fights with people, even if you're not directly talking about him or you're not seeking to, an argument. Sean Gunn will just insert himself in every conversation, because I don't do that either. I never went after people specifically who like James Gunn or like James Gunn stuff. I was always just defending myself when I would do a post. I would do a post, and then all of a sudden, Sean Gunn would pop up in my post and want to argue about stuff. And it's like, I'm not doing that. So I can understand that's all he does. He specifically, Batdan, searches for this kind of stuff and then inserts himself. That's all he does. When he's not acting, when he's not, performing a role, his role is to be on social media arguing with Zack Snyder fans. That's what he does.
Exactly. And what up, Frank C? Thank you for stopping by. The man who started this post. It's crazy. And the thing is, fans, we are fans. We have the right to give our opinions on this stuff. And it may not be the one you like, but that's what it is. I don't go after people who, I'm like you, Zod. I don't go after people who like James Gunn. Heck, I don't go after people who don't like Zack Snyder. I just don't watch their stuff. I mute their posts. I don't watch the stuff. It's only if you go after me or one of my friends, I will say something like Frank C. He said, stay mad about it. And then this is what I say. Stay mad that Zack Snyder actually has a fan base. And then nobody cares, not much of one, all his franchises getting canceled. Yeah, that's why Zack Snyder has the UFC movie and the LAPD movie coming out. That's why Rebel Moon is getting all these spin-offs right now, getting a podcast on Spotify.
But see, this is the problem here. You have Sean Gunn on here being an aggressive a-hole, right? But at the same time, you have James Gunn trying to make it seem like him and Zack are friends and trying to act like he doesn't understand why the fandom is fractured. See, it's like it doesn't make any sense. It's like counter messaging. Like, okay, we know that James Gunn is not friends with Zack Snyder. So who's telling the truth? Because if James Gunn is friends with Zack Snyder, if James Gunn is really friends, then why does he have his brother out here doing this kind of stuff? If it really is just a weird misunderstanding between the fan bases, then why do we have Sean Gunn out here putting out stuff like this?
Exactly, Zod. And is what I said to him. You care enough to keep commenting. Zack Snyder gets more projects. He has the UFC movie and the LAPD movie. Your brother, on the other hand, has to prove himself after Superman 2025. And if that film's fails, this meme will get reversed. And then Frank C posts I think some AI thing. Forget if it was from Twitter or Facebook. Probably, I think this was from Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Exactly. Fans of the campaign are actively fans of the DC Extended Universe are actively campaigning for the return of Henry Cavill as Superman and the revival of Zack Snyder's vision, referred to as the Snyderverse. So, they mentioned the sell hashtag, the restore hashtag, because we want Netflix to continue with the DCU. And then here's Sean Gunn putting the whole, trying to be like, oh, YouTube trailer. It's like, they literally put it as an ad. People had to watch it, Sean.
Right, exactly. Makes no sense.
And then did anyone? Yeah. And then, Sean Gunn is so confident. Okay, Sean, we will revisit in July. This better be the best movie ever. This better break the bank. Like, this is just immature. Like, really?
He has nothing better to do. That's what I'm telling you. He's like a loser who was elevated and propped up because of his more popular older brother. He's the guy that's like, oh yeah, you know, my brother. Well, without your brother, you'd be sleeping under a bridge.
Oh yeah, especially Zod. He's acting like a troll right now, so under a bridge is perfect for him.
That's why I said that, because he's the ultimate troll.
You know, Austin, if you're in the chat, can we get some artwork about Sean Gunn as a troll under a bridge?
Yeah, Bell Reeve is right. Chronically online, 100%. 100%. He's got nothing back. Chronically online. Who has that kind of time?
Exactly.
That's why, like I said, I'm like, I would argue with him. I would go back and forth with him. And then I was just like, I'm done with this. This is beneath me. I can't do it anymore. I just, you know, it's like, I feel like, Sean Gunn, you won that one. I gotta go. I don't have time for this. I'm not going back and forth with you anymore. It's like it's crazy to me.
Well, and it's not just that, but it's the name calling too. Pencil neck, really? You're like, this is like juvenile humor.
Pencil neck. Says the loser who would be living under a bridge if it wasn't for his brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable.
And then the clock is ticking. You know, Frank C brings this up right here. Exactly. July 11th is D-Day. And here's Sean Gunn. How'd you win D-Day? You didn't. The movie needs to succeed first.
Right. There's all this false bravado going around, like James Gunn's Superman's going to be the greatest movie to ever hit cinemas, and yet they're talking about reshoots. They're talking about how horrible the movie, you know, the test screenings have been. By what metric? See, and this is how you know that they know the movie is going to be a failure. Because look at how hard Sean Gunn has to cap for this movie. If this movie was going to be a success and they knew this movie was going to be great, you wouldn't need to have people like Sean out here attacking other fans. The only reason he's going so hard is because he knows they don't have anything. This movie is going to flop so hard that the only thing that they got right now, they got to be bullies now, because they know that once the movie flops, they're all going to be out of a job. So they're trying to get all their fun in and get all their licks in now, because they know they're not going to get another shot later. That's what this is about. They know they have a failure on their hands. So this is how they act, because they're backed into a corner and they got to give this false hope that this movie is going to be something that it isn't. And I just feel bad for everybody involved. Everybody but Sean and James Gunn.
Yeah, same here. Because, I mean, a lot of these actors like Cornsweat, they're trying to get work. Like, you know, Cornsweat's not really a known actor, and this was a big role for him, Superman. And you know, Cornsweat's not going after the fans right now. Cornsweat's not going after any of the fans right now. So I don't have any ill will towards him. He's taking
well, he's got a see, the thing is, he's got a responsibility because he's playing Superman. So when you get cast as a Superman actor, you have to carry yourself in a better way. You can't be like the Weasel on Twitter attacking everybody. And let's be honest, David Cornsweat has other things to do. David Cornsweat is actually an actor, whereas Sean Gunn is just a glorified troll that happens to get some acting jobs because his brother is who he is. That's what it's really about.
Maxwell Lord, Bell Reeve. Exactly, Zach. He gets roles like Maxwell Lord, Calendar Man, the Weasel,
He's the Weasel. He's the
the
Weasel for
Robot,
sure.
GI Robot.
GI Robot. Yeah, he gets all these roles because of his brother. If it wasn't for his brother, it's kind of like you're, it'd be game over for him. He would essentially be, you know who he would be? You know who he would be if it wasn't for James Gunn? He'd be an even lower rent version of Zachary Levi, even lower than Zachary Levi. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we already know how low Zachary Levi is.
Wait. Really? Really? Zod just said he's really the dog now too? Really? Oh my.
Well, James Gunn is just, being true to life, casting his brother as the dog. I mean, isn't that what it is? Throwing scraps to his brother? Here's another role for you. Here's another role for you, Sean. Here's another role for you. Here, let me give you another treat. Here, voice GI Robot. Oh, you want to play Crypto? Okay, yeah, we'll give you a little more work. We'll do some mocap. Okay, here you go. And he's just like throwing little treats at his brother like a dog. Like a goddamn dog. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And just I'm gonna go over this real quick. This is the D-Day that matters. And I'm basically saying if you were so confident, you would be worried about your many roles in the DCU, as you were saying, ZodWriter, not going after fans who didn't even tag you. What metric?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Isn't this movie the symbol of hope? Doesn't this movie just give you vibes of hope and optimism and make you feel all warm and fuzzy and Superman-ish inside?
No, not at all. Especially the way that Sean Gunn is going after fans. Because here is the thing I always say, public figures need to be a lot more careful with what they do. Because you represent the movie. You are doing that. So when you act a certain way, the optics do not look good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Basically, I'm not going to give this guy any more attention on this post, but I just wanted to point out to show that this is how the brother of the director is acting right now.
The brother of the director. I love that. The brother of the director. This is what we have to look forward to. And I cannot wait to see. Think about how salty they're going to be when the movie comes out and it completely flops. I wouldn't be surprised once it completely flops if they all just delete their social media accounts. That's what I would do. If I was Sean Gunn, I would delete my burner account, once the movie is out. Because once the movie is out, how the movie comes out and might have a decent opening day, but then by the next day it'll tank. People will watch it, opening day out of morbid curiosity, and then like the next day it'll have like a huge drop off, and every day will be worse. Yeah, that's what everybody who goes to see it is going to be saying when they go to the theaters, Bishop. Yeah, the flop of the decade. I'm 100%. I remember when the tagline for if you go and you watch all the old commercials for Batman 1989, the movie of the decade, right? And this movie is going to go down in infamy where they're gonna literally say that on advertisements for the movie years from now. They're going to be like, "You've got to see it to believe it. The flop of the decade, Superman." I mean, it's just going to be, and maybe it'll be like that Tommy Wiseau movie,
Room.
The Room. Maybe it'll be like the Tommy Wiseau movie where it'll get like a cult following because it's so bad, it's good, right? And it'll be the flop of the decade. Yes, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Point is, this is just bad. This is not a good look for for this at all. DC's in the toilet, guys. I mean, the Gunny Poo brothers are acting like idiots. DC Studios is in trouble. There's one hope for DC. One hope for DC. And that is sell Snyderverse to Netflix. The only hope is that when this movie fails, and Warner Brothers Discovery is in even bigger debt right now, they have no choice but to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix to help themselves make money, give the DC brand, the IP, some good recognition. They will have no choice after this movie fails. This is what they'll be stuck with, because James Gunn won't be talking in David Zaslaff's ear anymore. This is what I think is going to happen, ZodWriter. I think David Zaslav will be like a figurehead after this movie fails, is that they won't fire him, but he won't have any more say in anything, and they'll keep him around till his contract expires in 2026. That's what I think will happen, and then this is when SellSnyderVerse to Netflix happens. Hopefully after Superman fails at this point, but I don't know. Part of me thinks the deal's already being made behind the scenes. We just don't know about it yet, but I don't know, Zach, what do you think about this?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's already a deal in place that they're just waiting, and they can't announce anything until this flops. That's the key here. See, because they have to give James Gunn, they're probably contractually obligated to allow James Gunn to fail. That's what this is. Let the man fail, and when he fails, then you can proceed with your next plan, because they're not going to just discard DC altogether. There's too much money involved with DC regardless, and they know there's a demand for the Snyderverse. So they know that if they follow through with Cell, that is going to bring in more hype. That is going to bring in much needed hype when they have no hype for anything James Gunn is doing. And I know Sin Havoc couldn't be more right. July is going to be wild.
And you know what would be really funny, ZodWriter, if when they spin off Discovery, if they just gave David Zaslav all of Warner Brothers' debt. That's what I think they should do, since this is all Zaslav's fault for letting this all happen. They should Zaslav, okay, you can get Discovery, but now you're going to get all the debt with it, with Warner Brothers too. That's all with you, Zaslav. You have to pay this off right now.
Would be wonderful.
That would be. I love ironic punishments. I'll put it like that, and that would be great. But that's the hope for DC right now, is sell Snyderverse to Netflix, because look, I don't necessarily want to ask for other DC to fail. I'm just being with the reality right now, is that DC will not, this new movie is not going to do well. They will have no choice but to sell the Snyderverse and sell it to Netflix, because Warner Brothers won't have money to produce the content. And Netflix they will not be in a position to negotiate. They will not be in a position to say, oh, you can't use this, you can't use this, you can't use this character or this character. They're not going to have a choice in any negotiating. There's going to be no room for negotiation. They're going to take whatever deal Netflix can give them. Will give them.
Yeah. Yes.
Which, hopefully, as the Cool Table's been pointing out, we could even get it in theaters, limited theatrical release, which that would be really cool, and Netflix will really need that. But what I think is going to happen, ZodWriter, I think they're going to Rebel Moon this. They're going to have Zack Snyder do 4 movies. 2 PG-13 cuts, 2 director's cuts. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, back to back.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Pop-up events, interesting, because Sin Havoc, I know you were saying episodic at one point, but how would that work if it's going to be IMAX? But, as you said, plans change, so who knows? Oh, I'm going to say this right now. If this happens, this will not be covered on Crime at Christmas Time. I'm saying this now. Crime at Christmas Time will not cover a Creature Commandos Christmas special. No. But July will be special, because we got Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, shout out to Trey and Corey, and most importantly, One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And maybe even a Cell announcement for Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Interesting, Sin Havoc. Okay. Cannot wait. But anything else you want to say about this before we wrap this up?
No.
Okay.
Cell is the way.
I'll say exactly what I said when I woke up from my anesthesia. Ezra Miller is innocent. Sells this jail to Netflix. Sell Snyderverse to Netflix. So coming up right now, Sky will be going live very soon. So check out Skywalker the Jedi. ZodWriter, anything coming up on your channel?
Well, you can follow me in terms of I'm doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of music with Bishop, and I have been producing a lot of music together for our new music label, Joden Music, and it's awesome. We've been putting out a lot of music lately, a lot of great artists, as well as, of course, One Punch Dan stuff. So you're going to want to be watching, my channel for more One Punch Dan material. And I'll probably, like I said, you guys will probably get some kind of a new trailer from me for One Punch Dan sometime in March. So be on the lookout for that as well. And who knows, we might be doing another live stream coming up. So you might get another music live stream from me and Bishop coming up, maybe sometime this weekend or whatever. We'll figure that out. So you can, just be on the lookout for that. And of course, people should be following your channel for One Punch Dan stuff as well. So
exactly. Sure. I cover One Punch Dan on all the shows on my channel right now. Marvelous Discussions, we're covering One Punch Dan. And Bat Dance discussions, and when we do some space tactic discussions, it will all be covered. And coming up on this channel, Marvelous Discussions, I have a Daredevil Season 1 video with Socks being edited, so check that one out. And we'll be covering the rest of Daredevil, including Born Again, so be on the lookout for that. And ZodWriter, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it.
No problem, anytime.
Guys, I'm at 502 subscribers, right? Wait, am I at 502 still? Okay, yeah, 502 subscribers. 48 until we get to my safety nets. And we'll do a 500 subscribers special. So be on the lookout for that. And guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great roasts such as these. And on that note, any final words, Zod?
No. Hashtag SellSnyderVerseToNetflix.
Have a bat-tastic day.